We'd better start this semester off with a definition or two. What is music? It's actually hard, maybe, to define music. What is music? Is it a melody with words? Well, but what about music that is just instruments with no words? Isn't that music? Sure, it is. So music doesn't just have to have words. Is music just stuff that is current? Is it all music that's new and created just now? Well, no, that's clearly not true. There's plenty of old music. We don't really even know how far back human beings started making music. But it seems like as long as we've been human, we've been making music. Is music something that only humans create? There's a tricky one. Birds sing, right? I mean, I've seen a video of an elephant playing on a drum. He seems to really like it. I had a cat once that would sort of meow along while I practiced my horn if I played certain pieces. So do animals make music? That's actually out of my field. I personally, as a musician, think, yeah, I think sometimes animals do make sounds for the enjoyment of making sounds. So I think that's music. So, okay, is music for humans just for enjoyment? Enjoyment, that's a tricky word. Is it just to be happy? Well, there's a lot of sad music out there. There's a lot of music about hard times and heartbreak and things like that. So maybe music is just about emotion. Unfortunately, that's not true either, because there's been plenty of music that's out there that's not really supposed to evoke an emotion. It just is. Mozart wrote a lot of music that just exists. Beethoven, it just exists. You can feel happy or sad, but you're not required to feel any particular way in some of that music. Some music is all about emotion. Maybe music is about telling a story, a narrative, like a movie. Well, that doesn't work either. There's a lot of music out there that wasn't meant for telling a story. It was meant for accompanying people while they danced, or even while they march into a dinner hall, or music that would be meant for prayer, or music that would be meant for background, not even to really be listened to. So that doesn't help us really define what music is. It's just examples of how you can use music. Does music have to have something in it? We'd better know what the elements of music are, and that's where you're going to start in Module 1 with the elements of music. We can generally say that music will probably include at least 2, definitely 1, of the elements of music. What are they? I'll tell you now. You're going to learn about them soon. Melody, harmony, rhythm, texture, timbre, which means tone color, and form. 6 elements of music. Does music have to have a melody? It's hard not to have music with a melody, but I actually know some pieces that don't have a melody. They're weird, but I know them. How about harmony? Do you have to have accompanying instruments or voices or something while there's a melody? Nope, you could have just a melody. Could I have just rhythm? You might not know a piece that's just rhythm, but I know a few. That's why I'm a music professor. I know all these weird ones. So I can't prove that music has to have all of those 6 elements. So what is music? Some people say music is a universal language. Music is definitely something that almost all humans can do or do. I've had a student or two occasionally who's taken music caprice and at the end said, this is weird. I never listened to music. And I had to listen to a lot of music in this course. Okay, so there are some people that music doesn't really speak to them or move them. A lot of people, music speaks to you. It moves you. It pulls you in. So humans do music. We're wired to be able to do music. It's part of our language centers maybe. It's part of our ability to really vocally express. We can sing easily and sing different pitches. Okay, so again, What is music? People like different kinds of music. And often we fall into the definition of music is what I like. If I don't like it, it's not music. That's not really a definition of music. That's a statement of preference. You say, I listened to that and I don't want to ever hear that again. Okay, that's great, but that doesn't mean it's not music. It doesn't sound like music to me. Well, but it sounded like music to the person that created it or is creating it. So music is intentional, maybe. Again, back to, is music a universal language? Circle around. Music means something to you, specific person. It means something to the person or people creating that music. But what if I take that out of context and I put it over someplace else, a different group of people listening to that music? Maybe they don't know the circumstances that caused the creation of that music, so they hear it in a totally different way. Maybe it's full of sounds that they've never heard before, and so to them it sounds just like noise. So is music a universal language? No, in the sense that it doesn't carry meaning the same all around the globe, from every human to every human. Is music able to be done by every human? Yeah, I say so. Now, some of you may have had choir teachers back in 5th grade that said, you should never sing again. Oh, they should never have said that. I'm a firm believer. There is music inside everyone somewhere. That may be not provable. It's not provable. But I like to think that. However, humans are hardwired to be moved or to create music or to engage with music in some way. So is it universal? It's a universal human activity, we could say that. It's not necessarily a universally understood crossing all barriers tool. However, can music cross barriers? Yes. Quick example. World War I. Soldiers in the trenches in the fields of France. This is before the U.S. was involved in World War I. So we have German soldiers on one side, we have French and English soldiers on the other side. They're out in the trenches in the winter. The Pope at the time says, hey, we should have a ceasefire for the season of Christmas. And of course, the two powers, the big powers that be, could not agree on a truce. The German soldiers at the time put up somebody got a hold of a little twig of a Christmas tree, put it up, and started singing Christmas carols in German. Across the trenches, this is all barbed wire, no man's land, right? You can't go there without getting shot. So across the no man's land, in the trenches of the English and French, they hear these Christmas carols being sung, and they know some of those carols, like Silent Night, which was a German carol, but lots of people sing it in English. They start hearing carols that they recognize, and they start singing same Christmas carols in English and French. And pretty soon, people creep out of the trenches, kind of cautiously, and start exchanging gifts, probably like, here's a package of cigarettes, here's a package of peaches, or some chocolate, or whatever. They had their own truce, the Christmas Day truce, because they were able to hear music that called them together. There's an example of a universal language or a universal calling back and forth of music. We still haven't defined what music is. It's not just what we like or don't like. It's not just melody. It's not just words. It's not necessarily universally understood in the same way. What is it? Well, at its most basic, music is sound organized in time. Sound organized in time. It's intentional. We say, this is music, this sound phenomenon that I create, or I capture, or I sing, or I play, or whatever, that I make. It's sound waves organized in some way. It starts now, it ends now. Some pieces of music are very short. They don't take very long. There is a piece of music, of course, out there that's going to take 590 some years. because somebody decided to make a piece of music that lasts 590 some years. It will last longer than any one person. It can't even be recorded on today's current technology because it would take up too much space, too much memory. But the instructions are there in this church. There's just a piece of a pipe organ, and every 50 years or so you add another note or take another pipe away, and it's playing. They've put it in a glass box because it's a little annoying. So sound organized in time. It starts now, it ends now. This sound, these collection of sounds, this collection is music because I say it's music. So maybe it requires humans to acknowledge, yeah, this is going to be music. It could be one person, a composer, creates music. Somebody creates beats. Somebody creates a melody. Here in Nashville, we have lots of singer-songwriters creating music. Sometimes a group of people create the music. A folk song that everybody just kind of sings and nobody knows where it came from. Baby Shark comes to mind as the modern folk song. Who created it the first time? Not sure we can say. So humans create music. We designate particular sounds, particular acoustic vibrations of sound waves that we say, this is music. What does music mean to each of us? Now that is varied from person to person, and that's part of what we're going to discover. So, in your Padlet post, you're going to write a couple things that tell us a little bit about who you are, but also tell us, what is music to you?